Hello and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, conscious creation. We're going to explore some incredible wisdom from Sadhguru to figure out how our thoughts actually shape our reality and, what might be getting in our way.
So let's just start with this huge question. Have you ever really wondered about this? Why is it that some things you wish for just happen, while other dreams, no matter how much you want them, just stay dreams? Well, what Sadhguru tells us is that the answer isn't really about luck or fate. It's about what's going on right here, inside your own mind.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the issue. Sadhguru points out this constant battle that's happening inside all of us. It's this friction between the thing we desire and the doubt that pops up almost immediately after. And here's the crazy part. Look how fast this happens. You create this clear, wonderful desire. I want to build a house. And then, in the very next thought, that logical, analytical part of your brain just jumps right in. It looks at the huge gap between what you have and what you want, and it immediately concludes, nope, not possible. You've literally created a beautiful thought and then shot it down in the same breath.
And this quote, wow, it just nails the consequence of that. The moment you let that thought, it's not possible, take hold, you're basically sending out a counterintention. You're telling the universe, or even just your own deeper self, actually, never mind, I don't want it. And that internal conflict, that tug of war, is what creates stagnation. It's what stops your thought from ever becoming a reality.
So, you're probably asking, okay, why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Well, it really boils down to two completely different approaches our minds can take. Let's look at the huge contrast between simple faith and, the self-sabotage that comes from overthinking everything.
Just look at the difference in these two mindsets. The person with simple faith, kind of like a child, they just make their request. Shiva, I want a house, and that's it. They've handed over the how, and by doing that, they've completely sidestepped all of those negative doubting thoughts. But the thinking person, they get trapped in this endless loop. Will it work? Is it even possible? What if it doesn't happen? They are the ones who introduce the very poison that kills the desire.
And this is so crucial to understand. This isn't really about a specific god or some magical force out there. The real magic of faith, the way Sadhguru explains it, is that it creates a mental space that is free of conflict. It's a tool for shutting down that negative voice that keeps whispering, it's not possible.
Okay, now this quote might sound a little jarring, right? But it's designed to completely shift our perspective. It's a wake-up call. This isn't about sitting back and waiting for some divine being to just hand you things. It's about understanding our role in the process of creation.
And that idea leads us straight into this next massive revelation. Sadhguru draws this incredibly powerful distinction between what the source of creation does and the very specific job that has been left entirely up to us.
Think about it this way. The creator's part of the job is done, and it's a phenomenal job, isn't it? Just look around you. The universe, the potential, the raw materials for anything you could ever imagine, it's all here. That part is taken care of. Your role is different. Your business is to take all that potential and shake your own life into what you want it to be.
And you know what? This ties directly into our own happiness. Just think about it for a second. When are you unhappy? It's always when life isn't going your way, right? When things aren't unfolding the way you think they should. So this ability to manifest, to create, it's not just some cool trick. It's the very key to your own well-being.
But there is one giant roadblock, one major mental block that holds almost all of us back. It's the prison we build for ourselves out of our own past experiences, which we then use to define what's possible for our future.
Let's do a quick experiment. Right where you're sitting or standing right now, can you just fly off? You'd say no, of course not. Okay, can you get up and walk? You'd say yes. But hold on. Why are you so sure about those answers? What are you basing them on?
The reason you're so certain is based on one thing and one thing only, your past experience. You've walked thousands of times. You've never once flown. So you're using what has happened before as the only evidence for what can happen next. And according to Sadhguru, this is one of the most profound limitations we place on ourselves.
This right here, this is such a powerful and freeing idea. When you limit your future to just a repeat of your past, you're actually dishonoring the very essence of what it means to be human. Think of all the things that were impossible 100 years ago that we do every day. What has never happened before can happen tomorrow. We are capable of making it happen.
So, what this all boils down to is a massive shift in how you see your role.
It is not your job to be the judge and jury of what's possible or impossible. That's nature's department. Your only business, your only job, is to get incredibly clear about what it is you want and then to strive for it with a focused, unwavering mind. All right, so we've talked about the problem. We've talked about the big mental blocks. Now, let's get practical. Let's pull all of this together into a real framework you can use for organizing your mind to consciously create the life you actually want.
So here are the 4 big keys. First up, be clear. You have to know exactly what you truly want. If you don't have a destination, you can't get there. Second, hold that focus. You can't want a house today, a new car tomorrow, and a trip around the world the day after. You have to hold a steady direction. Third, and this is a big one, you have to consciously weed out those negative thoughts, the is it possibles and the it won't happens. And finally, all of this requires building stability. Moving from a mind that just compulsively reacts to everything to a mind that acts consciously and with purpose.
You know, Sadhguru has this perfect analogy for it. He says an unfocused mind is like trying to go on a journey, but every 2 steps you turn and walk in a different direction. You're just going to end up wandering around in circles. Sure, you might stumble upon your destination by pure chance, but it's incredibly unlikely. Organizing your thought is about picking a direction and sticking to it.
So, when you really get down to it, the power isn't in some mysterious force out there. It's right here, in the clarity, the focus, and the stability of your own mind. It's about getting out of your own way, ending that internal conflict, and allowing your thought to become reality. So, the only question that's left is the one right there on your screen. Now that you know how, what will you choose to create?